Once in a small, humble village tucked away from the noise of the world lived a man named Samuel. Samuel was known throughout the village as a man of unwavering faith. No matter how fierce the storm or how uncertain the future, Samuel's spirit remained steady, and his heart always full of hope. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the villagers gathered around Samuel's little wooden house. Fear had gripped their hearts. The news from the city was grim. Businesses had collapsed, families were struggling, and many had lost their way. Uncertainty hung over the village like a heavy cloud. Sensing their troubled spirits, Samuel invited them to sit by the fire. With his warm smile, he began to speak. Many years ago, Samuel said, there was a young sailor named Jacob. He sailed the vast seas, delivering goods to distant lands. One fateful day, his ship was caught in a ferocious storm. The waves towered high, and the wind howled like a beast. Fear took hold of the crew, and they cried out in despair. They knew the ship wouldn't last much longer. But Jacob, though terrified, remembered the words his mother once whispered when he was just a boy. When the world around you trembles, anchor yourself in God. Let your faith hold firm, for God is stronger than any storm. Grasping his pendant, a small cross his mother gave him, Jacob knelt down on the rain-soaked deck and prayed, Lord, I don't know how this will end, but I trust you. Calm my heart, even if the storm rages on. Miraculously, a sense of peace washed over Jacob. Even while the storm still roared, he stood up with newfound courage and rallied his crew. Tie down the sails, steady the helm. We will face this storm together, with God on our side. Inspired by his unwavering faith, the crew followed his lead. As they fought the storm, their hearts no longer trembled with fear. They knew they weren't alone. Eventually, as dawn broke, the storm calmed and they found themselves safe near the shore. Samuel looked at the villagers, his eyes reflecting the fire's gentle glow. The storm didn't disappear when Jacob prayed. His faith didn't stop the winds or silence the waves, but it gave him courage. It reminded him that God was greater than the storm. In the end, it was his faith that guided them to safety. Samuel's voice softened as he continued, My dear friends, the world is in turmoil. Uncertainty grips us all. But let us remember, faith does not promise a life without storms, but it gives us the strength to endure them. Trust in God, anchor your heart in Him, and you will find courage to face whatever comes. The villagers left that night with hearts a little lighter and hope rekindled. Samuel's story stayed with them, reminding them that faith doesn't always change the situation, but it always changes the soul. If this story touched your heart and renewed your faith, share it with someone who needs encouragement today. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more uplifting stories. Stay blessed. The world we live in today is more uncertain than ever before. We are witnessing turbulent times marked by trade wars, crashing markets, and escalating tariff disputes between nations. The global economy has become a battleground where countries are imposing tariffs on each other's goods, disrupting long-established trade routes and creating ripples of instability. Markets fluctuate with fear and speculation, leaving businesses and individuals grappling with financial uncertainty. In such an environment, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and anxious. Jobs are at risk, investments lose value overnight, and the future appears bleak for many. Political tensions rise as countries struggle to protect their interests, often at the expense of global cooperation and unity. As the economic foundations shake, people worry about their livelihoods, security, and the ability to provide for their families. But amidst this chaos, we must remember that our foundation lies not in earthly wealth or worldly power, but in the unshakable hope found in God. Just as the sailor in the story clung to faith during the storm, we too must anchor ourselves in God's promises. The storms of life may rage, but our God remains constant and faithful. This uncertainty challenges us to look beyond material possessions and temporary securities, focusing instead on building our faith and strengthening our relationship with God. Our hope is not in the stability of markets or the strength of nations, but in the steadfast love and guidance of our Creator. Let us continue to pray for wisdom and peace, trusting that God will guide us through these turbulent times. As we navigate the uncertainties of the modern world, let our hearts remain steadfast, knowing that He is with us, offering strength and refuge.